Welcome to the place where brains collide with science, wit, and a nerdy vibe. I'm Dr. Angel. Let's dive in where psychology meets a clever spin. Stay curious, be kind, and keep your mind nerdy.
Back to school survival guide. Routines that actually work. Tell me if this sounds familiar. It's 7:32 a.m. The bus comes at 7:35. One kid can't find their shoes, and the other one just remembered they have a science project due today. And you're standing there wondering if coffee counts as a food group? Yeah, school transitions are fun, right? One of my clients once told me that mornings at their house looked like an Olympic relay. One parent tossing lunchboxes like batons, and the other one screaming, "Go, go, go, go," as the kids are running for the front door. Sound familiar? Don't worry. Today, I'm going to give you real tips backed by psychology that can help you and your kids survive the school routine roller coaster. And who knows, you might even enjoy it. Hi, nerds. I'm Dr. Angel, and welcome to Nerdy Psychology, where we break down mental health, parenting, and the human brain in ways that are fun, practical, and well, just a little nerdy. If you're a parent trying to raise resilient kids without losing your mind in the process, you are in the right place. So hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and let's dive in. Morning routines, from chaos to calm. All right, think of morning routines like trying to launch a rocket. If one tiny thing isn't prepped, the whole launch gets delayed. And instead of astronauts, it's a cranky 8-year-old who can't find their left sock. One mom I worked with said her daughter always forgot her shoes, but only once they were already buckled into the car. So she said, "I am going to keep an extra pair of shoes in the car." Genius, worked. No more problem with forgetting shoes. Another family I had this rule that whoever made it to the breakfast table, they got to be the family DJ on the car ride to school. Guess what? Nobody was late to the breakfast table. So how do we go from chaos to a little bit more routine and predictability? Well, it starts with some prep. And if you have elementary kids or younger kids, even our middle schoolers and high schoolers, having them prep the night before, things like selecting their clothes, making sure their backpack is in the space, having all the things ready to put into the lunchbox, ready to go. The more we can prep before the morning, the less pressure it puts on the morning. Because let's face it, who really likes getting up in the morning and screaming, "Go, go, go," and running at full force like you're running a sprint in a race? So the more that we can prep, and this even works for us as adults, the more we can get ready the night before, the more likely we are to have less stress in the morning. And the more things we can take care of while our brains are not in time crunch mode, more at peace our emotions will be. And you can do things to make it a game for your kid. Like we talked about that one mom of mine who had the game, whoever is the first one to the table gets to pick the songs on the car ride. Like finding ways to make it fun also helps, because mornings just don't always seem to be very fun. And so when we can put a timer or we can have a game out of it, it really helps to get more participation and to make the moods a little bit better. And if you have some older kids, have them set the alarm. And I'm talking like middle school, high school, like have them set their alarm and a backup alarm and a backup alarm and a backup alarm. Like they're going to need lots of backup alarms usually, because they can sleep through like a living earthquake and a hurricane, a tsunami all put together. But ownership builds responsibility. And that's our goal of parenting, is to help our children learn to build their own responsibility and accountability, so that eventually they'll be able to manage all these things for themselves as adults. Make mornings tech free. This goes across all ages and all stages. If we have technology coming in, if we're watching a show on the iPad or on the TV, or we're looking at a video game, or we're scrolling the Facebooks or what the TikToks or the Instagrams, like that gets in the way of getting things accomplished. So we can use technology as, hey, when all your essentials are done, you can sit down and watch that show or have some time on the iPad before we go to school. But we need to make sure we're getting the things we need done first. So no scrolling before socks, that kind of thing. Taking away a little psychology nugget. Predictability equals calmer kids, less chaos, and kids do so much better when they know what's coming next. Just like we do as adults. We like to know what's coming next. Area 2, homework routines. We want less stress and more success in this area. This is another area. So many parents are like, I hate homework, Dr. Angel. I really just hate homework time because our evenings are already feeling pushed for time. We come home, I'm coming home from work, the kids are coming home from school. I have to prepare dinner. We have, to go to baseball practice, or we have this thing coming up, or Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or church or whatever is coming in that afternoon or evening time. Then we got to do the bedtime routines and showers and all these things. I hate homework. Nobody wants to do it. I have to fight with them the whole time, and we all are just mad and frustrated. So I ask you, raise your hand if you have ever bribed your kid with a snack just to do one more math problem. Yeah, we have all been there. One dad told me homework time was like negotiating with tiny lawyers. His son always had reasons why he couldn't start yet. So they created a snack, then homework rule. The debates magically stopped. Another family added a silly twist. Every time their child finished a subject, she got to spin a wheel of small rewards on things like pick a dessert or extra 5 minutes of screen time. Suddenly, homework wasn't that battle anymore, and we weren't having that war. So, what are some tips we can take away? So, one is this works for all ages. Create a homework spot, a place that they can do their homework every day. So their brain starts to associate this spot with homework. And so they can focus and they can concentrate, and it becomes a pattern. And so the more we can have that spot, it shouldn't be in the bed. It shouldn't be in the middle of chaos. We should find a little spot for that homework to be done. Again, homework is another gray area that you can kind of make a game out of it. Like make a homework bingo card and check off the boxes when they've completed their assignments, and maybe they can earn small privileges once they get a bingo across their bingo card or fill the whole card. Using that kind of reward system can really motivate them to do something, well, honestly, they don't really want to do. And let's face it, just like you're tired at the end of the day, they are too. They have been in a classroom and they've been learning and having to sit still when their little bodies want to get up and move around, or the older ones want to talk with their friends and socialize. And here they're having to engage in a lot of activity that really it's not what they want to do that day. And so just like you have no bandwidth at the end of the day, your kids struggle with that bandwidth. And so making it fun, making it a game can go a long way. Also, another tip that can be really helpful, especially with like older children, middle schoolers, high schools, or even older elementary kids, is doing homework with breaks. So using what we call the Pomodoro method. So basically what we're saying is like 20 minutes of work, 5 minutes of break, or 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of break. But a period of time, use a timer. There's some really great little timers. If you have a cell phone or a timer, an egg timer, or a Pomodoro timer, you can set it, and it's quantitative. And guess what? We get a lot done in that 25 minutes because that break really makes a big difference. And then we're not powering through once we've already kind of hit that wall. And so giving a tool and knowing there's going to be a relief here helps us to focus and to concentrate and to push ourselves to get that done. Another one that's really great for the older kids is to kind of ask them to tell you what's something they learned. Like, let them kind of teach you that lesson a little bit, or give you some highlights, or have an open discussion about it. But teaching boosts retention, and it's actually helping them study without them even realizing it. It's also a great way for connection and conversation in the house. So we're doing two things at once. And so I love that idea of letting them talk you through some of the lessons they're doing. And it doesn't have to be a formal thing. This can be in a conversation on a car ride to school, or this can be in passing, or this can be while we're at the dinner table. Like, it doesn't have to be, all right, you sit down. Here's the dry erase board. Come and teach me your lesson on whatever. No, we want to make it a discussion, and we want to make it fun, because when we can take pressure off of homework, we're more likely to get homework completed. And so consistency plus autonomy. This is a formula. Consistency plus autonomy equals fewer battles. So when kids have some control, they resist less. And that's the goal of what we're trying to achieve. The next hard area, I think, for parents, or at least we hear this a lot in the room, is bedtime routines. We want to learn the wind down secret. Here is how bedtime works at a lot of homes, and for a lot of people, is we're in hyper mode. We're trying to get it all done. Go, go, go. The day is getting away from us. We didn't get it all done, but we realize, oh my gosh, the kids got to get to bed because we have to be up really early. So we just kind of push through and go to bed. And so we're going from, 90 miles an hour to like 0. And honestly, nobody can function like that and work like that. Like, our bodies don't do that. And so having a little bit of a wind down routine is going to start training not only your body, but your child's body, that we're bringing it down so that we can get some good quality sleep. Most parents get caught up in thinking that bedtime is the easiest routine. That would be a big fat no, it is not usually. I had a parent tell me her daughter became a philosopher every night at bedtime, with questions like, what is the meaning of life, Mom? Or what happens after we die, Mom? Or where do babies come from? Like, right at the last minute before, while we're tucking them into bed. The trick? This mom started having her child write down some of the big questions in a tomorrow journal, so she felt heard but was able to go to sleep. Another family made a silly bedtime mascot. They took a stuffed sloth and they named him Sleepy Steve. Checked everybody's teeth to make sure they were really brushed before bedtime. And the kids actually rushed to just get to show Steve their fresh, clean teeth. Making it fun can go a long ways. Here's some other tips. Same order each night. Predictability, we know what's coming. Our body's going in the wind down. So if it's, we have dinner, we have quiet time, we do bath, we do PJs, we do story, we do lights out, whatever it is, we keep it as close to the same. Now, we're not drill sergeant and militant with it, but we want the flow to be very predictable. And you can take advice and introduce a silly game or a bedtime mascot or a special bedtime story that we try to read every night, or have something that makes it a little fun. If you have some older kids, encourage tech bedtime. That means technology, phones, tablets, they go on a charger 30 minutes before bed. And they don't charge in the child's room. They charge at a charging station in a neutral space in the house. It could be a parent's room, or it could be a dining room table, or a cubby in the kitchen, but they have a charging station. That's where they go. Because this is going to help teach our children to start winding it down. Because I will tell you, the phones interrupt and disrupt that sleep, because they were on them scrolling, chatting with the friends, doing the things, and they're not getting good quality sleep. And it's really important to get that good quality sleep. Also, for some of our older kids, using rituals, things that matter to them. Maybe we can sit down and have a couple minute chat before bed, or maybe we dance it out, or we listen to a music, or maybe it's just some journaling time and it's time for you to kind of just write or draw art or think or reflect for yourself. Those things can signal wind down time and downtime and help even your older kids getting into that space. And that even works for us adults as well. So, our psych nugget is routines are cues to the brain. When bedtime steps are predictable, kids' bodies learn it's bedtime and it's time to wind down and to go to sleep. And the better quality sleep our kids, teens, and adults get, the better our moods will be the next day, the more we can handle stress the next day. And so it is really an important space to start. If we're going to start anywhere on this, bedtime routine is the first place to really work on. Our fourth area is our hygiene and chores. So these are about building independence. One parent laughed because every time they told their son to brush his teeth, he would just disappear into the bathroom, only to come out with a wet toothbrush and zero evidence of, toothpaste. So they switched to a chart, and suddenly brushing became kind of a competition with himself. They made it a fun thing and a game for him. Or I had a teen client once told me he hated chores. Find me a teen who likes chores. But I had a teen client tell me he hated chores until his parents tied doing chores to choosing the family Friday night dinner or Tuesday night dinner. And suddenly, like, vacuuming was worth it. It gave him different autonomy and a different voice and a different power. And it might have meant pizza instead of salad, or extra bedtime, or an extra privilege. And so tying it to something that gives them that extra payoff can really help with motivation, just like it helps with our motivation, right? Some of our elementary kids, we can use things like visual checklists. So we can have dry erase boards, we can have literal checklists, we can have a laminated checklist, we could use sticker charts, we can use photos or pictures to represent what that order is: teeth, hair, clothes, the things, pick up the room, do put that with garbage, whatever those things will be, we can put it on there. So they have that visual cue and they can make that connection, and we can have them go back to that chart and go, okay, did we get everything done we needed to get done today? And giving them more autonomy. We can have chores be silly, which is a really great way. I remember even with my own kids, like that was one of our best memories of like having to do chores. Was Saturday morning was house cleaning day in my house, and we would wake up and I would write down every chore that needed to happen that day, and then we would play a video game, and in the order you play, so first place, they would get to pick their chore first, and we would go round robin. So of course you wanted first place because you were going to get like all the easy chores, things like taking the garbage out instead of, like scrubbing the toilet. And we all had a great buy-in. We all had equal opportunity to be wherever we would place. And it was fun. And chores weren't chores. Like it was just kind of a thing we did together. You can also tie chores into privileges, first chores, then screen time, then this extra thing, then you could go to your friends, or you can, whatever it is they're wanting. I mean, we can even frame chores and hygiene as like teaching independence and confidence. And they're not just something you have to do because I say you have to do it, but this is what we need to learn to do to be an adult and to be on our own and to have those things that you want to have. And so this is practice for that. Like that makes sense to a lot of kids' minds. So kids push back less when they feel ownership and when tasks are framed as skills for helping them grow up. One of my favorite stories was from a parent who said, our mornings used to be pure chaos. Kids crying, the parents yelling, cereal spilled everywhere. But now, with routines, we still have chaos, but it's organized chaos. And honestly, that's the win. It's not perfection, it's just smoother days. And if you have an anxious or intense child at home, I created a free guide just for you. 5 tips every parent of anxious or intense children should know. The link is in the description, and these strategies pair perfectly with what we've talked about today. Don't forget to subscribe for more nerdy parenting and psychology tips. And leave me a comment below. What is the funniest or wildest back to school moment you've had with your kids? I cannot wait to read them. Stay curious, be kind, and keep your mind nerdy. That's a wrap. See you next week.
Stay curious, be kind, and keep your mind nerdy.